you guys? Welcome back to the channel, Life with Ken. It's your big sis, Kendra D. Before we get into the vlog on today though, make sure you hit that thumbs up button, comment, and subscribe. Also hit the notification bell so you don't miss any new drops. Okay guys, so from the title of the video, we already know this is going to be a transparent one. I got my notes again, y'all. This is going to be transparent. It's going to be very vulnerable. And then I'm hoping that this video gives you some perspective. It gives you some peace. And hopefully after you watch this video, you feel good if you don't already feel good. So, you know that I've been laid off for about 3 weeks now. And I've been moving and shaking, getting things done, thank God. But last week, to be quite honest, was not a good week for your girl. I was so all over the place in my thoughts, actually. And I was very negative. I had those thoughts of, I'm not good enough, I'm a failure, I am having to start over again in my 30s, am I doing, basically. Those types of thoughts. And I came across this song, and it's crazy because, you know, my uncle, and if you know me, you know my uncle. You may not have met him in real life, but you've heard of him because I love him. I talk about him all the time. He's like my dad. My dad passed away in 2005, and his older brother just took me under his wing. He was one of the first people I told about the layoff when it happened. And the first thing he asked me, well, the second thing after when he asked me how I was feeling, he asked me, well, you gonna get some rest? And you know how millennials are. Rest is for the weary. We'll sleep when we dead, you know. How can I possibly rest in this type of predicament? You know, rest for what? But last week, I totally understand why he kept asking me that question. So end up going to a comedy show, little story time, just a little backstory. End up going to a comedy show last weekend with my homegirl. Shout out to Ali Sadiq. Google him, YouTube him. He's hilarious. He is so funny. We bought tickets for his show in Columbia, South Carolina months ago. And so after this happened, I was like, I'm not going out. Going out and enjoying myself. How can I possibly go enjoy myself at a time like this, right? And so I kept mulling on it back and forth. And finally I said, you know what? We paid for a ticket. I already paid for the tickets months ago. I might as well go. So ended up going, me and my homegirl ended up going. I actually made it an overnight thing. I stayed at her house for the night. It was so good to get away. I'm so happy I went. Y'all, if you're going through a rough period, please still get out the house as much as possible, that if you can, you know, as much as feasible for you, because that was so refreshing. I think that was really what I needed. But we had a ball. So that next morning, which was on a Sunday, woke up, got dressed, saw on my Uber Eats app that it was busy. So I'm like, let me go ahead and catch this chicken. Chase this chicken, okay? I said, don't want to, you know, miss that. So I'm getting ready to leave, and I'm driving, and I'm listening to gospel. It's Sunday. And first of all, music is always very soothing for me. It's very therapeutic. It always just does something for me personally. So listening to the music, and this song comes on, and it's called No Failure. It's by William Murphy. And as the song was playing, and what's funny is I've heard the song before, and I was listening to the song. Mind you, I have these thoughts in my head, like what's going on next, and da-da-da-da. And the first part of the song, it didn't even take the song long to hit me. The first part of the song says this, and it made me, well, I'll read the words first. Now, mind you, I have these thoughts in my head that I'm not good enough, that I'm a failure, that I'm starting over in my 30s. Anything negative you can think of, I was thinking of it. Here's the first part of the song. It goes, I wish you could see yourself in the future. I wish you could see yourself you're doing better. Because everything he said he would do, God did. And everything you ask him to do, God did that. He won't ever let you down. And he's proved this to you. And I'm sitting here thinking, and my mouth is just wide open. I actually started crying. Because meanwhile, I have all of this negative feedback loop running through my mind. And God is reminding me through this song, there are no failures. You know, this song made me think of the situation I'm currently in from a different lens. So years ago, I've been laid off maybe 3 times in my life. The very first time I was laid off was very traumatic. I lost everything. I had graduated from Fayetteville State University with my bachelor's degree in 2011. Shout out Broncos. It's homecoming now too. Hey. Started school at Fayetteville State, graduated in May of 2011. By July of 2011, I had my own place, I had my own car, and I was working 2 jobs, one of which was a really good job. And so I'm thinking I'm living the life, you know, the life that you think at 22 is the life. And that's what I was doing. I was working, paying my bills, going out, lollygagging, what you can think of, whatever we're doing at 22. Ended up losing my job the next year. And I literally lost everything. It was a domino effect. And it happened fairly quickly. I've always been like one of those types of people, those kids that people would say, oh, you are old soul, or you wise beyond your years. I've always been told that, and I've always felt myself to be pretty wise. But still at 22, you're still green. You're green, you're naive. You know, you don't have a whole lot of life experience. And, you know, if you don't have a lot of the lessons, if you haven't learned a lot of the lessons at home, you kind of going through them as they come. And so I hadn't been through anything like that. Of course, I had like childhood trauma and things of that nature. So I'm already facing those things. And then this big, huge thing happens. And it just throws me for a loop. I spiraled immediately. Didn't take too much time, just immediately. Because in a 22-year-old mind, you can't think beyond like, oh my God, my life is over, you know? And so I was bouncing from couch to couch, literal in a literal sense. Slept in my car for a few. I made some horrible financial decisions, just to try to get by. I was working odd end jobs. Like, I mean, you name it, it happened to me during that time. It took me from 2012 to 2015 to find a substantial job, and I had a bachelor's degree. So talk about traumatized. So then come back to now, this happens when I have more responsibility, more to lose. Oh my God, you know, it's funny how fear can really grip us. It's amazing how it can grip you. And in that moment, I was fearful. Like, I have anxiety sometimes. And so my heart was palpitating just thinking about the what ifs and things that you just haven't even happened yet. But this reminded me there are no failures. You know, you've come from a very long way. That's the perspective that I was looking at it from. Like, you having all of these feedback loops, these negative feedback loops, but think about who you were then and who you are now. How much you have grown, how far you have come, you know, how much you've accomplished since then. You have accomplished things that no one can take away from you. No, I don't give a damn what job lets you go. You have accomplished things that no one can take away from you. And that song quickened my spirit because there are no failures. You are not a failure. You are very much so worthy. You are very much so enough. You are who you said you are and whose you said you are. I know that life can grip us in ways sometimes that we can't even imagine. And it comes at us quick. And those curveballs, sometimes you can't even dodge. But in the midst of it all, you can't allow fear to grip you so tightly that it paralyzes you. You can't move, you can't think, you can't be. You have to be able to free your mind. And I think that's one of the major things that I learned from going from that situation before, long, like 10 plus years ago to now. And how I know I'm a different person is because I'm reacting way different. Yeah, I have my days. Absolutely. There is no doubt about it. But I am a far cry. Oh God, if you know me personally, you know, I am a far cry from where I was before. So I really want to just encourage somebody. You know, I'm really talking to myself, but in the midst of me talking to myself, I want to encourage you as well. Whatever you may be facing, whatever circumstance you find yourself in, there are no failures. We are learning here. We are living life as we go. You know, this is our first time having a human experience. And so you have to learn some things. Some things come by ear, some things come by fire, you know. And unfortunately, you can't always evacuate the fire. Sometimes you can't evacuate the fire. But in the midst of it, if you keep a clear mind and you keep God at the forefront, everything is going to be okay. You know, whether it's a lesson you have to learn, maybe it wasn't a loss at all. Maybe it was a gain. Maybe it's God trying to position you for something greater. Who knows? We don't know. God knows. And this is why we have to always consult him. I'm in no way a Bible thumper or a super saved, like I'm not, but I am a true believer in God. And if it had not been for God, I honestly, truly don't know where I would be. And I ain't even trying to, there is no pun intended at all. I truly don't know where I would be on a serious note. You know, in 22, bouncing from couch to couch, sleeping in a car, like that is traumatizing to somebody. And, you know, it's crazy how God will bring things back up to you, whether it's by your remembrance, maybe it's the same certain situation you're going through, to see, have you really learned? I don't know if this was a situation where is God testing me, and maybe it is to some degree, but I really think this is more of a situation of God positioning me and also teaching me more patience, teaching me more things that I have to have, emotional intelligence being one of them. And I'm pretty emotionally intelligent, very emotionally stable now. I was very emotionally unstable back then. But I'm able to think a little bit different. You know, I'm able to maneuver a little bit different. And you can't always crash out. That is not an option always. It really shouldn't be an option at all at this age, but you just can't always crash out. And when your mind is clouded with fear and doubt and self-loathing, and your language to yourself is self-deprecation, and you're just not in a good space, you will be stuck. You can't move, you can't maneuver, you can't strategize, you can't even hear from source because your mind is so wrapped up. And I think God is teaching me in this season to keep a clear head, to really truly do deep diving in yourself. Because truthfully, this type of a situation is a test of faith for sure. How can you withstand? How can you hold up in the face of a fire, you know? And so I just want to encourage you that you did not fail. You are not a failure. It wasn't a loss. It was all a gain. And if you allow God to free your mind, you will be in a much better space. And also, it's okay, because this is a grieving period. I mean, it's just happened. So I'm going to have up and downs. But you are grieving because it was a loss nonetheless. You would grieve a loved one or a friend or a pet. This is something that, you had at the top of your mind. This was something that you were counting on. So it is a loss. And so it is a grieving process. So allow yourself to grieve. Just don't be consumed by it. I think that's my message. Don't be consumed. Don't be consumed by the things that the enemy wants you to be consumed by. Fear, negativity, negative self-talk, whatever. Allow God to use you in a different way. Allow him to free your mind, because I truly believe that as long as I keep my mind stayed on God and the end goal, I'm gonna be all right, and you will too. So I'm not gonna hold y'all long. I just wanted to encourage you. I hope this was an encouraging message for you. Again, we're all in this together. If you like this video, make sure you comment down below. Comment down below anyway. Share something with somebody in the comments. Relate to somebody in the comments. Pray for somebody in the comments. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe to the channel, guys. It is free to it is free to subscribe. If you don't like what you see or hear, then you don't have to. So you can unsubscribe. But try me out though. Try your girl out first. I love y'all. I mean it. And I will see you in the next video.